Oh shit! Okay, wait, what the fuck? How long was that jump? Horizon Zero Dawn, the latest open world exploration shooting arrows at robots game developed by Guerrilla Games and published by Sony. So this is a game that some are calling an incredibly polished and deep experience, some are calling a beautiful yet boring game, and some are calling feminist propaganda because it has a female protagonist. Wonderful. Personally, I think it's a pretty damn good game. I don't think it's perfect, but it definitely has a lot to offer. So Horizon Zero Dawn takes place in a future where these robot animal things terrorize the world and human beings have reverted back to living like cavemen. You play as Aloy, a badass hunter lady voiced by Ashley Birch, and embarrassing confession time, I have a huge crush on Ashley Birch, so anybody who says anything bad about the voice acting in this game is disrespecting my dream woman. I mean, she's like 6 years older than me, I think, but we'll make it work. The game doesn't really have a central goal that everything revolves around, but I'd say that the main thing you work towards is finding out who Aloy's mother is and where she came from. Now, in my opinion, I'd say the story overall is good, but it's a bit up and down. There's definitely more up than down, but there is still some down what the fuck am I talking about. On one hand, the game's lore is very detailed. The different tribes, the robot animals, the world's history, it's all very deep, and learning more about how the world got into its current state was really interesting. On the other hand, the writing is just okay in my opinion. It's not bad at all, but there were some lines that just felt kind of forced and unnatural to me. But what's fucking great about the story is Aloy. Following her journey from birth to childhood to adulthood was awesome, although Kid Aloy did really creep me out. But like I said, Aloy is a badass, and watching her turn from an outcast who's shunned by all to an incredibly skilled hunter and warrior who could probably take down a Tyrannosaurus Rex just by staring at it, it really made me relate to her and care more about her struggles. Sometimes in conversations, Aloy will have the option to respond to something in an aggressive, insightful, or compassionate way. These choices don't really change anything significant in the story, but characters will sometimes reference the choices you made. I actually like this mechanic, not because it helped me relate to Aloy more or whatever, but because it showed me how Aloy can usually outwit anybody she talks to in 3 very different ways. It's fucking cool, dude. So yeah, I personally thought the story was good, but it maybe could have been better, but who gives a fuck, let's talk about shooting things. Woo! Oh god, that's it. Okay. Horizon Zero Dawn's gameplay is a lot of fun. You hunt robots, track robots, ride robots, fuck robots, or maybe that's just me. It's a very fun game, and quite varied in its combat. You have a variety of different weapons at your disposal, each with different ammo types. For example, with the bow, you have your regular arrows, but you also have fire arrows and shock arrows, and each of the robots have different weaknesses to different types of attacks. Fighting the robots is definitely the funnest part about Horizon Zero Dawn. Most of the time they're fun, challenging battles that test your wits and ability to think under pressure, but some of the time they're... yeah. But generally the fights were a lot of fun, and pretty damn hard. In fact, at first I was surprised by just how difficult this game was, but then I realised I'm a cave woman fighting off giant robots with a bow and arrow. Of course it's hard. I absolutely love the design of the robot animals. There are apparently 26 different kinds of robot overall, and every time I found a new one, I had this moment of real intrigue, where I was wondering what it could do, what its strengths and weaknesses were, and what was the most effective way of killing it. Hanging above my fireplace next to my ex-wife. That being said, there are human enemies too, and whilst they're not as interesting to fight as the robots, taking down their bandit camps, either with stealth or with brute force, was pretty fun. Plus, the game world you explore is really well made. Whether it's beautiful snowy areas, robot-infested forests, or huge deserts, exploring the game's world was a lot of fun. And the fact that this is one of the most beautiful looking games the PS4 has ever seen doesn't hurt either. However, as is tradition for all big open world games these days, Horizon Zero Dawn suffers from some bugs and glitches, like floating objects, getting stuck on terrain, or my personal favourite, the amazing invincible goose! Not sure if that last one counts as a glitch, but it's funny, so. In conclusion, I liked Horizon Zero Dawn. I think it had some problems, but it's a large, expansive, stunningly beautiful game with some fun gameplay and a main character who gives me special feelings. It's quite a unique game, really, not so much in the gameplay, but more in the setting, and I like that. Like I said before, Horizon Zero Dawn has a lot to offer. There's a lot to see, a lot to do, and a lot to love. Well, a lot to like. I'm not quite there in our relationship. Horizon Zero Dawn is like a giant diamond. Big, beautiful, and probably very expensive.